It's just a very fast-paced sport. That requires so many different elements. I want to be a better player, I want to be a better teammate. I think many people play team sports because they want to be part of something greater than themselves. Freakshow has been a club that has been established long before I started playing Frisbee. Freakshow! We were one of the first clubs founded in Singapore for flying disc. And over time, we've been able to build ourselves into a club that consistently competes at the very highest levels in Singapore. This year, we are aiming to repeat our championships and push ourselves to a higher level. Freakshow over the last 2 to 3 years, being able to consistently achieve results, champions, first runners-up at the national championships, and that of course being given the honour of being called up to represent Singapore at the national team level. The relationship can be symbiotic. The national team allows Freakshow players to go out into the world, being able to play against players of a higher caliber that we cannot find in Singapore. It's just a very fast-paced sport that requires so many different elements that are underappreciated until you really play at the highest levels. You need to be able to run fast. You need to be able to accelerate quickly, decelerate quickly. You need to be able to jump. You need to be able to last a 100-minute game. And if you go overseas for World tournaments, you need to play 7 to 10 100-minute games over 5 to 6 days. Right? That takes a toll on your body. Anyone who's thrown a disc would understand at some level that people take to the backhand very naturally. But if you look at anyone throw a forehand, and if you ever try to throw a forehand yourself, you realize that it's one of the most unnatural motions in any sport that I've played. So it really opens your eyes to what competitive Frisbee can look like at the highest level. Sacrificing your Saturday mornings, waking up early, coming down, running suicides after training when it's 12 noon and it's so hot outside. All these are sacrifices that I think anyone who has played or aspires to play at the highest level can tell you that they have gone through. I want to be a better player, I want to be a better teammate. I want to enjoy this sport more, and the only way I can enjoy this sport more is by being better so that I can do more things on the field. I'm trusted, I'm given more game time. I build better relationships with my friends, with my teammates. And all these things come together in any team sport, I would say, not just Frisbee. The external part of achieving results, the internal part of building a relationship with your team. I think many people play team sports because they want to be part of something greater than themselves. Right? There's a special feeling when you become so close to a team and you push through all the sacrifices that people make. All this culminates in you being able to bring back an accomplishment as a team and being able to form those relationships, achieving something that you know that you could never do by yourself.
Appendix is Singapore's first beach ultimate club. We have been around since 2012. We pride ourselves as being an open club, a club where everyone can join. Culturally, I think also, this kind of setting obviously invites a slightly different, I'd say, frame of mind. It is competition, but at the same time, it's competition in a nice setting, and it gets people into a good mood and in a good mindset. There's an overall thriving beach ultimate scene, so we're part of that.
No place to hide. I can feel your heartbeat through the music. Don't stop, don't make me lose it. Darling, won't you take my heart and use it as you please.
We're training 1 to 2 times a week in comparison to others that might train 4 or 5 times a week. We focus to have a training for players that want to compete, but at the same time can't necessarily commit the same amount of effort as more competitive clubs do. Some of our players definitely train more. They also train with other clubs. We are in that sense not exclusive. We allow people to train as much as they can.
I channel my competitive energy through the Singapore Beach National Training Program. We do train about 3 times a week right now, and it's going to ramp up to 4 times, but in the off-season I train with Appendix. I think Appendix provides a very unique space. It's very warm, welcoming and open, which may not be common elsewhere. Beach ultimate requires a lot more stamina. At the same time, beach is also kind of on my joints. The longer you play in the sport, the more you appreciate how less taxing it is on your body.
Playstyle-wise, the slower surface changes tactics. There's fewer players, there is more surface to cover. I think it's more exciting on one hand. On the other hand, it's also sand is a great equalizer, so it makes it possible for older players like me to still compete.
Appendix is a diverse community of local and expats coming together with varied perspectives and different playing styles and learning from one another.
We're a club with players from very varying backgrounds, right? Locals, foreigners, young, old-ish, professional students. That means we need to focus on playing to each other's strengths, and that strength is the diversity. That means that we gotta focus on players that can think for themselves and they can, problem solve on the fly, rather than using just a roster of a lot of players that, act very similarly and work like a well-drilled machine.
Beginner's Night started with another ultimate frisbee player that I know, and he noticed that when people play pickups, they tend to throw only to their friends, and only people who play well, friends or players that they'll invite along, would kind of be left out after a while, and no one would throw to them, so he would kind of put them aside and teach them, and over time there was more demand for that sort of thing. Here we really focus on giving the fundamentals and teaching people the foundational stuff they need to know in order to enjoy the sport at a very, very basic level. I think the culture here is really very welcoming, so we try to embrace that, and so when people make mistakes, we don't want to be annoyed at them or decide not to throw to them in the future. We want to maintain that level of encouragement, so when people do score their first assist or their first goal, you can hear people clapping and cheering for them on the side, and I think that's really great and important. Everyone comes here with the understanding that to be good at anything, you have to suck at it first, right? So nobody's ever good at catching or throwing a frisbee well the first time. So because we came from that, you should expect the same from others. So when they do make a mistake, it's okay, but what can we do differently so that the outcome is different every single time? A lot of them are not intending to go pro or be really super serious. They just want a chance to learn the sport or get to meet new people and just to stay active and fit. Our dream is really to see them advance in any sort of way to play the sport. The more people play the sport, then the more exposure we will have as an entire community. So we believe that, having that community engagement and getting more people involved would be the most important thing in terms of long-term sustainability. The spirit of the game is very unique to Ultimate because we don't have any referees, so we expect everyone to know the rules.
There is 5 aspects that we generally measure in spirit of the game. These 5 aspects are essentially the knowledge of rules, so how well do we know the rules that we have agreed on? How safe do we keep each other's fair-mindedness, like how fair are we about things, especially if there is tension to be resolved? What kind of attitude do we have? Are we respectful? Do we bring a fundamentally positive attitude? And lastly, how well do we communicate?
The integrity that it demands of players to make their own calls, to accept when they themselves have inadvertently broken the rules.
You're able to practice explaining your point of view and then hearing the other person's point of view as well, and then you both coming to a consensus of what to do in a conflict.
And if we take this as a core idea, again, it expands into your wider life as well, right? Like, how do I relate to people at work, in my friendships, in my partnerships, right? Like, we will always be in places where things are at odds. How can we overcome that and figure out a fair resolution?
I think many people see sports and life as separate, but I think SOTG or the lessons that anyone might learn playing competitive sports growing up kind of bring those two together.